Gunpla. Usually this hobby is pretty cheap when compared to other kinds of figure lines such as Warhammer Minis, Figma, Robodamashi and such, with most high-grade kits being around $10 to $20. It's a pretty good price for a really nice looking, color separated and snap fit model. But what happens when pretty cheap just isn't quite cheap enough? The answer is that you buy used ones. I'm Jacket's Gunpla, and in this video I'll try to find out how much I can improve this $2 high-grade Hyaku Shiki. It was sold assembled and treated as junk, so now I'll attempt to bring it back to life. I found this kit a couple months ago while scrolling through Buy. It was in a bundle of 5 high-grade kits for 1,400 yen, around 10 bucks, which was a really nice price in my opinion. I didn't have a Hyaku Shiki, so I was really excited. $10 for 5 kits gets you about $2 per kit, without including stuff like shipping, importing taxes, and so on. If I actually took those in count, it would be way more expensive, but I need a small number for a clickbait thumbnail, so we're going with $2 for now. After a couple months it finally arrived. I was a bit scared since the kits were all stuffed inside a small bag, but nonetheless the contents were all there. After sorting everything out, here it is, the high-grade Hyaku Shiki Revive, which released in 2016 for around 1,800 yen. It includes the mobile suit itself, a pair of beam sabers, a beam rifle and the clay bazooka. Despite being used, it was in great shape, with no damage to the articulations or missing accessories. The only issue was the molded gold. It needs no presentation.
Anyway, the gold, yeah, so the gold is not great, but better than I expected. Kind of crappier gold if you ask me. I would have much preferred the HG to be like in the same plated gold and have it just be, you know, like 7,000 yen more expensive, or however much it would have been, maybe 1,000 yen more expensive. Oh, it's not 7,000, 700 or 1,000 yen more.
Injection gold, it looks a little bit on the classic side. So far, not the most incredible looking gold around. Every single picture on this, even on the sides of the box, basically give you the impression that this is going to be a nice metallic glossy kit. Never really looked into it at all and just assumed from the pictures it was going to look nice, like the Master Grade 2.0 looks nice. This, however, looks like this, but this is just injection plastic, which, you know, is what it is, but the manual and the pictures kind of make you think you're going to see something else. I'm actually shocked that Bandai will release a kit like this and not show any images of what it looks like just straight out of the box.
As everyone has already said that it looks bad, and I totally agree with them. I will try to paint it and see how much better I can make it look, so let's start. First, I started by disassembling the entire kit and choosing which tone of gold I would use. For context, I'm not using any fancy paints like Vallejo or Mr. Hoy. I live in Argentina and those are kinda expensive here, so most of the paints that I use are just regular hobby acrylics diluted with water, which I run through the worst airbrush setup in existence, so we're on a budget here. I chose this one, which I bought for like $2 in a store near my house. Before starting with the gold, I had to prime the entire kit. The non-golden parts with grey and the golden parts with black. I mixed different colors to get the dark blue and red for the chest and the backpack pieces. It was a bit tough to get them running on my airbrush since the mini compressor that I use is really bad and it has an extremely low PSI, but I pushed through and was able to paint them. For the gold and gunmetal, I primed the parts with black, as I said before, and afterwards I hit it with a shiny top coat. Once that had dried up, I started applying the metallic paints, using gold for the armor and gunmetal for the inner frame pieces. The metallic paints were particularly annoying to work with because of the low PSI, but again, it wasn't impossible. Once everything was done, I painted the small details such as the cameras with a brush, applied a matte coat to the non-metallic parts and a shiny coat to everything else. It was time for the final assembly, and after putting everything together, the result looked like this. I'm really happy with the results. I could make it look better if I had used better paints, but for a small upgrade done with a budget, I'm more than satisfied. The gold looks better, the blue is a bit too dark, but I still think it looks better than the plastic, and overall I think this gives the kit a lot more shelf presence than it had before. I don't have the dexterity with my hands to hand paint the shoulder symbols, so I just used the stickers because I was getting tired after dealing with all the airbrush problems, but I'm still happy. This is my first video, and I have a lot more junk kits that I'm planning on making videos on, such as a high-grade Zugok, a high-grade Sinanju, which has both of its legs broken, so that will be an interesting one, and also a couple master grades. So if you're interested in seeing their transformations too, you can like and subscribe to the channel to get notified when I get around to painting them. I don't have much else to add, so I'll just say thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.